Ladies and gentlemen, most people believe success comes from massive action. They think one day of extreme motivation can change everything. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, the perfect moment when they feel unstoppable. But life does not reward intensity that fades after a week. Life rewards consistency. The truth is, self-discipline is not about doing something big once. It is about doing the small things every single day, even when you do not feel like it. That is where power is built. That is where character is created. Think about it. Anyone can wake up one morning feeling motivated after watching a video, hearing a speech, or getting inspired by someone else's success. Anyone can go to the gym for 3 hours one day. Anyone can study all night once. Anyone can work hard for a weekend, but very few people can keep showing up when nobody is watching. Very few people can stay committed when progress feels slow. That is the difference between people who dream about success and people who actually create it. Self-discipline means making decisions based on commitment instead of emotion, because emotions change every day. Some mornings you feel powerful. Other mornings you feel tired, frustrated, and uncertain. If your actions depend on your feelings, your life will always stay inconsistent. But when your standards are stronger than your emotions, everything changes. You stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this? And you start saying, this is who I am. This is what I do. The danger of intensity is that it creates the illusion of progress. People go all in for a few days and then disappear. They burn themselves out trying to change their entire life overnight. They create impossible routines, unrealistic expectations, and extreme pressure. Then the moment life becomes difficult, they quit. Why? Because intensity is emotional. Consistency is identity. Consistency is built slowly. It is not exciting in the beginning. It feels repetitive. It feels ordinary. But those ordinary actions repeated over time create extraordinary results. Look at the strongest people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. Their success did not come from random moments of greatness. It came from daily habits, quiet discipline, repetition. They mastered the ability to keep going long after motivation disappeared. They understood something powerful. Small actions done consistently are more valuable than massive actions done occasionally. Imagine a person who exercises for 20 minutes every day for 1 year. Compare that to someone who works out intensely for 2 weeks and quits. Who changes more? The consistent person. Imagine someone who reads 10 pages every day. At the end of the year, they have finished multiple books and transformed their mindset. The secret is never the intensity of the effort. The secret is staying in the game long enough for the effort to compound. Your future is created by your daily patterns. Every action is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. When you choose discipline over excuses, you are training your mind to become stronger. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-respect. And once you build self-respect, your confidence changes completely, because real confidence does not come from talking. It comes from proof. It comes from knowing you can trust yourself. One of the biggest lies people believe is that discipline makes life harder. In reality, discipline makes life easier. Lack of discipline creates stress, regret, and chaos. Discipline creates freedom. When you control your habits stop controlling you. When you become disciplined with your time, your health improves, your finances improve, your focus improves, your relationships improve. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-love in action. There will be days when you do not see results, days when you feel stuck, days when you wonder if your effort even matters. That is the moment most people stop. But successful people understand that results are always delayed. The work you do today may not show tomorrow, but it is shaping your future quietly behind the scenes. A seed does not become a tree overnight. Growth is invisible before it becomes visible. That is why patience is part of discipline. You must also understand that consistency does not mean perfection. Perfection destroys progress because it makes people afraid of failure. Self-discipline is not about never making mistakes. It is about never giving up on yourself. Some days you will fail. Some days you will fall short. But disciplined people do not waste energy on guilt and excuses. They reset quickly and continue moving forward. They understand that one bad day does not destroy a strong routine unless you let it. The hardest battle you will ever fight is the battle between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. Every distraction, every excuse, every moment of laziness pulls you backward, but every disciplined action moves you forward. And over time, those small victories change your entire identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who starts and quits. You become someone who finishes, someone reliable, someone focused, someone unstoppable. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. Water can cut through stone not because of force, but because of consistency. In the same way, your daily habits shape your destiny. A little progress every day becomes massive progress over time. The key is to stop chasing quick results and start building lasting habits. You do not need to change your entire life today. You just need to win today. Wake up and do what needs to be done. Then repeat it tomorrow. Keep stacking days. Keep building momentum, because greatness is never built in one dramatic moment. It is built in the quiet decisions nobody applauds. It is built when you choose discipline over comfort again and again and again. At the end of the day, success belongs to the people who can stay consistent when things become boring, difficult, and uncomfortable. Anyone can be intense for a moment, but the people who change their lives are the people who refuse to stop. Most people spend their lives waiting to feel motivated before they take action. They believe motivation is the secret ingredient that creates success. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, the perfect emotional high that makes them feel unstoppable. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up excited and focused. Other days you feel tired, distracted, and uncertain. If your success depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. That is why consistency is more powerful than motivation. Consistency keeps moving even when emotions change. The truth is, successful people are not successful because they always feel inspired. They are successful because they learned how to act regardless of how they feel. They made discipline stronger than excuses. They understood that the key to transformation is not doing something great once in a while. It is doing the right things over and over again until those actions become part of who you are. Think about the power of small daily actions. A person who exercises for 30 minutes every day will always outperform someone who trains intensely for 5 hours once a month. A student who studies 1 hour every day will gain more knowledge than someone who crams all night before an exam. A person who saves a small amount of money consistently builds financial security, while others waste years waiting for the perfect opportunity. Life rewards repeated effort because repeated effort creates momentum. Consistency may look boring in the beginning because the results are invisible at first. That is why most people quit too early. They want immediate results. They want dramatic change overnight, but real growth happens quietly. Just like a seed grows under the soil before anyone sees it above the ground, your habits are shaping your future long before the results appear. Every disciplined action is creating something inside you even when you cannot see it yet. There will be days when you feel like stopping, days when progress feels slow, days when you question yourself and wonder if your effort even matters. That is the moment consistency becomes powerful, because consistency means you continue even when the excitement disappears. Anyone can take action when they feel motivated, but only disciplined people can keep going when the work becomes repetitive and uncomfortable. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they need to make massive changes all at once. They create impossible routines and try to transform their entire life in 1 week. Then they become overwhelmed and quit. Real change happens step by step. Small improvements repeated daily become life-changing results over time. The goal is not perfection. The goal is persistence. Consistency also builds trust within yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop becoming someone who talks about goals and start becoming someone who follows through. That inner confidence changes everything because you no longer depend on outside motivation. You become self-driven. The people who succeed in life are not always the most talented or the smartest. Often, they are simply the most consistent. They show up when others quit. They continue when others lose interest. They understand that greatness is not built in one powerful moment. It is built in thousands of small moments of discipline repeated over time. At the end of the day, motivation can start the journey, but only consistency can finish it. Self-discipline is not something people are born with. It is built through daily habits, repeated choices, and small decisions made consistently over time. Every person wants success, confidence, health, freedom, and growth, but very few are willing to master the habits required to create those things. The difference between people who transform their lives and people who stay stuck is not talent or luck. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when they do not feel like doing it. Daily habits shape your identity more than your goals ever will. Goals are important because they give direction, but habits determine who you become. You can have big dreams, powerful visions, and endless motivation, but if your daily actions do not align with your goals, nothing changes. Your life always moves in the direction of your routines. What you repeatedly do becomes your reality. Most people underestimate how powerful small habits can become over time. They think success only comes from huge actions or dramatic moments. But life is built in the little things. Waking up on time every morning, exercising when you feel lazy, reading when you would rather waste time scrolling on your phone, staying focused when distractions are everywhere, keeping promises to yourself when nobody is watching. These small actions may seem insignificant in a single moment, but repeated every day, They completely transform your character. The hardest part about building discipline is that the rewards are delayed. You do not go to the gym once and suddenly become strong. You do not study for one day and become successful. You do not save money once and become financially free. Growth takes time, and because results are invisible in the beginning, most people lose patience. They want immediate success without long-term commitment. But disciplined people understand that every action is an investment in their future. Daily habits also train your mind to become stronger. Every time you choose action over excuses, you increase your mental toughness. Every time you resist distraction and stay committed, you build control over your emotions. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it feels difficult. Your mind will try to pull you toward comfort, laziness, and instant pleasure. But over time, disciplined actions become automatic. What once felt hard becomes part of your lifestyle. One of the biggest dangers in life is living without structure. When people lack daily habits, they become controlled by emotions and circumstances. They waste time, lose focus, and constantly feel frustrated because they know they are capable of more. Discipline creates order in your life. It creates momentum. Instead of reacting to life emotionally, you begin to take control intentionally. You do not need to become perfect overnight. In fact, trying to be perfect often leads people to failure because they become overwhelmed. The key is to start small and stay consistent. One disciplined action repeated every day is more powerful than one massive action done occasionally. If you want to become stronger, start with one workout. If you want to grow mentally, read a few pages every day. If you want success, focus on improving little by little instead of trying to change everything instantly. Over time, those daily habits become part of your identity. You no longer force yourself to act disciplined because discipline becomes natural. You become the kind of person who follows through, who stays focused, who keeps going when things get difficult. And once that identity is built, your entire life begins to change because success is not created by what you do once in a while. It is created by what you do every single day. One of the greatest reasons people fail to reach their goals is because they confuse intensity with commitment. They believe working extremely hard for a short period of time is enough to create lasting success. They start with excitement, energy, and massive action. For a few days, they feel unstoppable. They wake up early, push themselves to the limit, and convince themselves that this time everything will change. But after the excitement fades, so does their effort. They become tired, overwhelmed, and frustrated because intensity without commitment can never survive for long. Intensity feels powerful in the beginning because it creates emotional momentum. It gives people the illusion that they are making huge progress, but most of the time it is unsustainable. People push themselves too hard too quickly. They try to change their entire life overnight. They create impossible routines, unrealistic expectations, and extreme pressure. Then reality hits, life becomes difficult, energy drops, distractions appear, and suddenly the same person who was highly motivated disappears completely. Real transformation does not happen through short bursts of effort. It happens through commitment to the process. Commitment means showing up even when you are tired. It means continuing even when nobody notices your progress. It means staying focused long after the excitement disappears. Anyone can be intense for a few days, but very few people can remain committed for months and years. The problem with intensity is that it depends on emotion. Commitment depends on decision. Emotions change constantly. Some days you feel inspired. Other days you feel drained and uncertain. If your actions are controlled by emotions, your results will always rise and fall. But when you commit to something deeply, you stop negotiating with your feelings. You stop asking yourself if you are in the mood. You simply do what needs to be done because you understand that success is built through repetition, not emotion. Think about people who try extreme diets or impossible workout routines. They go all in for 2 weeks, pushing themselves harder than ever before. But because the routine is based on intensity instead of sustainability, they eventually quit and return to old habits. The same thing happens in business, education, relationships, and personal growth. People start strong but fail to stay consistent because they never learn the value of steady commitment. Commitment is powerful because it survives difficult moments. When challenges appear, committed people adapt instead of quitting. They understand that progress is not always fast or exciting. Some days will feel boring. Some days will feel frustrating, but they keep going because they are focused on long-term growth instead of temporary emotion. There is also a deeper level to commitment. Commitment changes identity. When you repeatedly follow through on your word, you begin to trust yourself. You stop seeing yourself as someone who constantly starts and quits. You become reliable in your own eyes. That inner trust creates confidence that cannot be faked. Real confidence is built when you prove to yourself over and over again that you can stay committed even when life becomes difficult. The people who achieve greatness are rarely the people who move with the most intensity. They are the people who refuse to stop. They understand that slow progress is still progress. They know that lasting success is not built in dramatic moments, but in quiet acts of discipline repeated daily. Intensity can create excitement, but commitment creates results. Intensity may start the journey, but only commitment has the power to carry you through the long road to success. The moment discipline becomes part of your identity, your entire life begins to change. Most people treat discipline like a temporary task. They force themselves to do certain things for a short period of time because they want quick results. But true transformation happens when discipline is no longer something you try to do. It becomes who you are. It becomes part of the way you think, act, and live every single day. Identity is powerful because people naturally act in alignment with how they see themselves. If someone believes they are lazy, weak, or inconsistent, their actions will reflect that belief. They will quit easily, make excuses, and avoid discomfort because deep inside, that identity controls their behavior. But when someone begins to see themselves as disciplined, focused, and committed, their actions start changing automatically. They no longer rely only on motivation because they are acting from a deeper standard. Most people focus only on outcomes. They say they want success, money, confidence, or fitness, but they never focus on becoming the type of person capable of creating those results consistently. The secret is not just achieving goals. The secret is building an identity that naturally produces those goals. Instead of saying, I want to work out disciplined, people begin to think, I am someone who takes care of my body. Instead of saying, I want to become successful, they think, I am someone who finishes what I start. That shift changes everything because identity creates behavior. Every action you take is shaping your identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen the belief that you are disciplined. Every time you follow through despite discomfort, you reinforce the image of someone strong and reliable. But the opposite is also true. Every time you constantly break your word to yourself, delay action, or quit too soon, you weaken your self-trust. That is why discipline is not only about productivity, it is about self-respect. People often wait until they feel confident before they take action, but confidence does not come first. Action comes first. Confidence is built through evidence. When you repeatedly prove to yourself that you can stay committed, your mind begins to believe in your strength. Over time, discipline creates certainty. You stop doubting yourself because your habits become proof of your character. Turning discipline into identity also changes the way you handle challenges. When discipline is only based on emotion, difficult moments can destroy your progress. But when discipline becomes part of who you are, challenges no longer stop you. A disciplined person may feel tired, discouraged, or frustrated, but they continue anyway because their standards are stronger than their emotions. They do not depend on perfect conditions. They depend on their values. One of the most powerful things about identity-based discipline is that it creates consistency without constant struggle. In the beginning, disciplined actions feel uncomfortable because they go against old habits, but eventually those actions become natural. Waking up early, staying focused, exercising, learning, and working hard stop feeling forced because they become part of your lifestyle. Discipline shifts from effort to identity. The world respects people who are consistent, dependable, and mentally strong. But the greatest reward is not external success. The greatest reward is becoming someone you can trust, someone who follows through, someone who keeps moving forward even when things become difficult. That kind of identity creates power that cannot be taken away. At the end of the day, your life will always reflect the person you believe yourself to be. Change your identity and your actions will follow. Change your actions consistently and eventually your entire future will change with them. Most people underestimate the power of small actions because they are too focused on immediate results. They believe success only comes from giant breakthroughs, massive opportunities, or dramatic moments of achievement. But the truth is, greatness is usually built through small actions repeated consistently over time. The little things people ignore every day are often the exact things that shape their future. A single small action may not seem important in the moment. Reading a few pages of a book does not instantly make you intelligent. One workout does not transform your body. Saving a little money today does not suddenly create wealth. Practicing a skill for 1 hour may not make you an expert overnight because the results are invisible at first. People often lose patience and stop too soon. They fail to realize that success is not created by one action. It is created by the accumulation of many actions over time. Life operates through compounding effort. Small disciplined choices begin stacking on top of each other until they create something powerful. Just like water slowly shapes stone through continuous flow, your repeated actions shape your character, mindset, and future. The process may seem slow in the beginning, but over time the results become impossible to ignore. The danger is that people often ignore small habits because they believe they are insignificant. They say things like, it's only one missed workout, it's only one wasted day, or I'll start tomorrow. But small negative actions also compound. Just as good habits can build success, bad habits can slowly destroy potential. Every day you delay action, avoid responsibility, or choose comfort over growth, you strengthen patterns that keep you stuck. Success and failure are both created through repeated behavior. The most powerful people understand this principle deeply. They focus less on perfection and more on progress. They do not try to change their lives overnight because they know lasting change comes from consistency. Instead of aiming for massive actions once in a while, they focus on winning small daily battles. They wake up on time. They complete their work even when they do not feel motivated. They improve little by little every day over time. Those small victories create unstoppable momentum. There is something powerful that happens when you begin taking small actions consistently. You start building belief in yourself. Every small promise you keep strengthens your confidence. Every disciplined action sends a message to your mind that you are capable of growth. Eventually, those small wins change the way you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who quits easily and start identifying as someone who follows through. Many people fail because they become overwhelmed by the size of their goals. They want instant transformation, so they create unrealistic expectations and then feel discouraged when progress seems slow. But when you focus on small actions, growth becomes manageable. You no longer feel trapped by the pressure of perfection. You simply focus on becoming slightly better every day. Even the greatest achievements in the world were built through repetition. Every successful athlete trained daily. Every great business started with small steps. Every strong mindset was built through repeated acts of discipline. Nobody becomes extraordinary overnight. What looks like sudden success is usually the result of years of quiet effort that nobody noticed. The key is to stop looking for quick victories and start respecting the power of daily improvement. Small actions may feel ordinary, but repeated consistently, they create extraordinary outcomes. Your future is not shaped by what you do occasionally. It is shaped by what you do repeatedly. Every disciplined action, no matter how small, is building the person you are becoming. At the end of the day, self-discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about making the choice to keep moving forward even when motivation disappears, when progress feels slow, and when life becomes difficult. Anyone can act with intensity for a short moment, but real strength is built by those who continue showing up day after day. The small habits you repeat daily are shaping your future more than the big promises you make occasionally. Every disciplined action is building your character. Every time you choose growth over comfort, action over excuses, and commitment over emotion, you become stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Success is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created in the quiet decisions nobody sees. The early mornings, the extra effort, the moments when you continue despite doubt and discomfort, that is where transformation happens. Your future does not depend on how motivated you feel today. It depends on the standards you choose to live by every single day. If you can master consistency, you can change your life. Because over time, small disciplined actions become powerful habits. Powerful habits build a powerful identity, and that identity creates extraordinary results. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop chasing motivation. Start building discipline. Start trusting the process. Keep showing up, keep improving, and keep moving forward one step at a time. Because the people who win in life are not always the most talented or the smartest. They are the ones who refuse to quit.